Today we are going to be learning another multiplication strategy. It's called partial products. It's a great strategy to use maybe after you've mastered the area model because it's a next step towards standard algorithm of multiplication. So it's taking away some of those visuals, but it's still breaking it down step by step. It's a great strategy, so here we go. We're going to start off by multiplying the numbers 54 and 32. You can see that I have the problem here horizontally. I'm going to start by stacking this just like you would an addition subtraction problem. It doesn't matter with multiplication which number's on top, but since 54 is first, we'll go ahead and put it on top there. 54 times 32. Just like always, I want you to notice that my place values are aligned. My ones place and my tens place are lined up perfectly. Now my next step is going to be the same next step that we do when we're doing area model, and that is to break up these big numbers that are tough to multiply into simpler numbers, numbers that are friendlier, numbers that we wouldn't have a tough time multiplying. We're going to start by breaking down 54 into its expanded form, giving us 50 plus 4, and I'm writing it right to the side here. That's where we're going to be doing our work. And I'm going to do the same thing with 32. Breaking it down to its expanded form would give us 30 plus 2. All right, that is my first step. Now, I am going to make a little list right here of all of the combinations of numbers that I need to multiply. I'm always going to be multiplying, in this case, a blue number times a pink number. I'm never going to multiply together two numbers that come from the same value right here. No way. We are multiplying a bottom number times a top number. Okay, so we're going to start off by multiplying 2 times 4. 2 times 4. And we're also going to multiply 2 times 50. 2 times 50. I'm not even interested in figuring out what 2 times 4 and 2 times 50 are yet. I'm just making my list of all the numbers that I need to multiply. Now, I've multiplied 2 times all the numbers that I need to. I'm going to do the same thing now with 30. I'm going to multiply 30 by both of these top numbers. 30 times 4 and 30 times 50. All right, now that I have my nice list of all of the equations that I need to do, I can start doing my math. 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to write the partial product right on the inside here. Then I'm going to do 2 times 50. 2 times 50 is 100. You can either think of 2 50s, or you can practice using our powers of 10 rule, which is we can multiply our digits 2 and 5 to give us 10. And then tack on however many zeros are still left over in our problem, which is a 1 0. Then we've got 30 times 4. We're going to use our powers of 10 again. 3 times 4 is 12. And there's one more 0 to tack on. That gives us 120. And finally, I've got 30 times 50. We're going to use powers of 10. 3 times 5 is 15. I've got 2 zeros to tack on. Gives me 1,500. The last thing I got to do is just to add up all of these partial products to get my final answer here. If you feel more comfortable just adding 2 numbers at a time, that's just fine. I'm going to go ahead and add them all up in one fell swoop. 1 plus 1 plus 5 is 7. 1. And there's our product, 1,728. Let's do one more example. 61 times 48. We're going to start off by lining these up vertically. 61 times 48. It doesn't matter which one's on top in multiplication, just in subtraction. All right, remember that our first step is to write out these numbers in their expanded form. I want you to practice doing that. Write those expanded forms right out at the side. Pause this, and then you can check your work with me. All right. 61 in its expanded form is 60 plus 1. 48 in its expanded form is 40 plus 8. All right, we've got all of our numbers in their expanded form. Now we need to write down all of the combinations of numbers that we need to multiply in order to get our final product. So I'm going to start always with my bottom right-hand number. And remember, I'm going to multiply it times both of my top numbers. So I've got 8, 8 times 1, 8 times 60. Doing the same steps again with my 40. Why don't you try writing down the two numbers that I need to multiply 40 by? Yes, we are going to multiply 40 times 1 and 40 times 60. All right, now that I have the list of all of the partial products that I'm going to find, I'm going to start actually doing that multiplication now. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 60 is 480. 40 times 1 is 40. 40 times 60, I know 4 times 6 is 24. And I've got 2 zeros to tack on, giving me 2,400. Last step is I'm going to add up all of these partial products to get my final product. 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. And there you have it. Our final product is 2,928. Okay, before we finish this video, I want to show you what it would look like if we multiplied a 3-digit number times a 2-digit number. The steps are going to be exactly the same. We're just going to have a few more numbers in our list to multiply, and you'll see how that works in just a sec. What's our first step here? We need to put this in the correct order. We need to stack this up. Go ahead and do that for me. Does yours look exactly like mine? Are all of your place values lined up perfectly? I hope they are. Now, let's go ahead and break these numbers down into their expanded forms. 123, this is our 3-digit number, but our expanded form is going to work exactly the same as it has all year long. We're going to take the value of this one, the value of our 2, and the value of our 3. Simple enough. And then we're going to do the same thing for our bottom layer. 50 plus 6. All right. Now, I told you at the beginning of the video that we need to multiply 6, this bottom number, times all of these values up here. Okay, so I'm going to start making my list. I'm going to multiply 6 times 3, 6 times 20, and 6 times 100. Do you see how I basically almost distributed 6 times 3, 6 times 20, 6 times 100? I'm going to do the same thing with 50 over here. We're going to do 50 times 3, 50 times 20, and 50 times 100. All right, let's do some multiplication. In fact, why don't you practice multiplying these out on your own? Use the powers of 10 if you need to. And then when you are done solving those, unpause this and you can check your work along with me. All right, 6 times 3, that is 18. 6 times 20, 120. 6 times 100 is 600. 50 times 3 is 150. 50 times 20, let's use our powers of 10. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 zeros remaining to tack on at the end. Gives us 1,000. And then I've got 50 times 100. I know 5 times 1 is 5. 0, 0, 0. That's 3 zeros to tack on. That gives me 1,000. All right, we have all of our partial products, and now we got to add them up. If you would like to pause the video, add them up on your own, and then unpause to compare our answers, you can, or you can add them along with me. Once again, if you want to break this into smaller sections to add up on their own, if that helps your accuracy, great. I'm going to do it in one fell swoop. 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 8. I've got 1, 2, that makes 3, plus 5 more equals 8. 6, 7, 8. Wow, a lot of 8s. And then I've got 5 plus 1, which gives me 6. 6,888 is our final product. And that is how you multiply using partial products.